I'm mid-edit and I just got a delivery notification. I got a ring notification, actually. The delivery person didn't even ring the doorbell. Oh man, guitar delivery days are fun days. Now, let's get this set up to unbox this thing, huh? Oh, so it comes in a gig bag, upside down. And let's open this guy. Oh, I've got like aluminum foil on the headstock. I feel like it's a very polarizing guitar, which is kind of a weird thing to say, right? Like, why should a guitar be polarizing? It's odd. It's interesting. I don't know why I'm getting hung up on that. It's weird that a guitar would be polarizing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a guitar. But this is, you know, kind of a shape. It's a little bit outside the norm for Jackson. You can see the headstock there. I mean, we're off to a good start, right? Boom. There we go. I mean, it's kind of a looker, right? It's open pore, but it is pretty glossy. We have Jackson locking tuners. You know what? Let's just let's read the specs. This is the Jackson Pro Series signature Lee Malia LM87 Surfcaster. It is an 𝐒𝐄𝐒𝐈 guitar with a 3-piece set neck. And if it sounds like I'm butchering that word, this is why.
𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐒𝐈𝐀𝐋.
𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐒𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿.
Now the neck is listed as a 3-piece 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐒𝐈𝐀 set neck with graphite reinforcement, but in the spec sheet that I have, it's also listed as a fast D-profile 3-piece Naoto neck. So I'm assuming it is 3 pieces of Naoto and 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐒𝐈𝐀. It also has a bound amaranth fingerboard, and I'm starting to think that Jackson just made this guitar out of woods that are hard to pronounce just to spite me. With a 12 to 16 inch compound radius. We also have 22 jumbo frets and shark eye block inlays. The finish on the body is an open pore semi-gloss. This guitar comes equipped with Jackson die-cast locking tuners, a Jackson Tunematic style bridge, and I've never seen this before, I might just be ignorant, but this Tunematic style bridge actually has fine tuners on it, which is really neat. If you like fine tuners, this is definitely for you. A 3-ply black, white, black pick guard with what appears to be anodized aluminum over the control cavity. This guitar features 2 custom-wound Jackson LM87 pickups. The bridge pickup is a humbucker and the neck pickup is a P90, but they are both humbucker-sized pickups and stylistically matching. Now, low-key, one of my favorite things on this guitar are these old-school Fender dome-style knobs. And speaking of knobs, we have a volume with a push-pull coil split and a tone knob. And like I mentioned while I was unboxing, this does come with a Jackson gig bag, and the total of this whole package is $899.99 US at the time of making this video. So out of the box, this is a very interesting guitar. You know, it's almost like a Jazzmaster or Jaguar style body, but then we have this Jackson headstock up here, which is, I think this is new. I haven't really seen this on any guitars, so I'm assuming this is a newer headstock. Oh hey, just chiming in real quick to update my ignorance. The Surfcaster was originally a Charvel guitar made in the early 90s, and this is the authentic headstock that was on that original Surfcaster guitar. So there you go, there's your history lesson. I think that this might be a little bit more polarizing for Jackson players because it is quite outside the norm, but I personally think that's pretty cool, actually. I like it when guitar companies do different, like, do you want the same guitar every time? Maybe you do, maybe you do. I think it's pretty cool. So kudos to Lee, Malia, and Jackson for designing such an interesting looking and unique looking guitar. What's up? We have the Lee Malia Jackson signature Surfcaster plugged into the Quad Cortex, of all things. I was looking up Lee Malia's rig and the most current thing I could find was him saying something about using the Quad Cortex. I'm using a preset by S-Waves PR. Shout out to that guy. Thank you for making my life easier. It's a Bring Me the Horizon preset, so like I didn't have to make one, which was nice. I appreciate that. This guitar plays really, really nice. I know you probably would expect that from Jackson. There's a few things that I want to point out right away. Number one, I thought this finish was going to kind of bother me because it's like, you know, they say it's a semi-gloss finish, but it feels pretty glossy to me. I'm not a huge fan of gloss finishes, but it actually feels pretty smooth. It feels pretty nice in the hands. It doesn't feel like sticky or weird, you know, sticky. It doesn't feel like that at all. And the neck profile, not your traditional Jackson neck profile, but it's also really slim and really nice to play. It almost reminds me of like a Fender neck profile. I'm gonna feel really stupid if I look this up later and it's a speed neck profile, but. And you know, despite my initial resistance to the new Jackson 3x3 headstock, I think I actually like it. I think it actually fits this guitar pretty nice. You know, this guitar is a vibe, dude. This guitar is really, really a vibe. A lot of really cool choices in the hardware, the pickup configuration, all of it. I think think it's cool. I think it's classy. I do need to get this set up in a much lower tuning though. If you're like me, by that I mean old, but if you're like me, Bring Me the Horizon has been around for like 19 years. It has been 19 years since Count Your Blessings. If you remember that album, you remember the MySpace era of Bring Me the Horizon, the deathcore Bring Me the Horizon, then you're probably feeling old like me. You probably have bad knees. But you know, they've transformed so much as a band since, especially like when you think about Lee Malia's playing and the guitar tone and stuff like that, and obviously the choice in aesthetics. This probably wouldn't have flown in the MySpace deathcore era, but I think that's cool. I think that says a lot about the evolution of guitar players and like what, you know, is acceptable now and culturally. Because I look at this guitar and I don't think grandpa guitar, I think heavy. I guess I'm just excited to get it into some chungus tuning and do some low chugs on it. I do like to play the guitar straight out of the box that way. If I come across anything that I want to address in the setup, I can do it then. But with that being said, I do want to test out these pickups on a clean channel in E standard because I feel like probably a lot of you, or a good amount of you at least, are probably familiar with what an E standard guitar sounds like. So, you know, another thing that's really cool about this guitar and previously Malia signature guitars is he uses a P90 in the neck and then a humbucker in this bridge. It's like a pretty interesting looking humbucker. You know, they like vibe together. Okay, we're on the bridge, the humbucker. Here's the humbucker with the coil split. Here's the middle position. The middle position with the coil split. And the neck position. So it's interesting because with the different pickup combination and then the split coil as well, you actually can go from a split coil sound up to a P90, which is like a really like fat split coil kind of sound, to a humbucker, you know, which is like a not split coil kind of sound. The last thing that I want to say here real quick before we set this up, the 𝐒𝐄𝐄𝐈𝐀𝐋, I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, but the 𝐒𝐄𝐄𝐈𝐀𝐋 body, I wasn't sure about it at first, and I was kind of like reading about it online, trying to figure out what kind of wood that is, and a lot of people are referring to it as like soft mahogany, but this guitar just acoustically, it just sounds really thick and punchy, but also very bright. That doesn't necessarily mean anything if you're slathering it with distortion, but you know, it's something that I noticed, so I just wanted to clear that to you. Let's set this guy up and get in a more tuning. Yeah. Okay, I got the strings off, and actually, funny enough, like the strings went flying when I cut them off. One thing that I wanted to look at here is this tuning mechanism and how this works, because it would be good to know since you probably want these fine tuners like in the middle, you know? So it looks like, if you can see this thing's hanging here, it looks like these strings just go into the little slots here, and then that puts the tension on it like this, and then the fine tuner will actually, like if you push down, it will pull the string towards the bottom of the bridge, you know, giving you a higher pitch, and then obviously if you loosen it, it will go to this neutral position, giving you a lower pitch. Kind of an interesting bridge design. We're just gonna figure out where the middle is. Let's try and set these things like in the middle. All right, let's keep going. So I'm a genius and I forgot to clean and measure the neck. So I had to pull the bridge back up here, ignore this mess. So that we could do that, because I really want to measure this neck, and I really want to know how thick it is, you know, and if it's on par with the other Jackson necks. I'm sorry, I messed up. Let's just go forward and pretend it didn't happen. Okay, the fretboard's all cleaned and oiled up. This fretboard wasn't dirty or anything. I've just noticed this with Amaranth, it tends to be dry. I don't know why. Maybe it's like production thing. Maybe some of you guys know, you can inform all of us in the comments. But yeah, it's cleaned up now, it's all oiled, looks nice. There is a protective film on this pick guard, on the plastic part of the pick guard. I'm gonna leave this on for now. You know, I don't really like pulling these things off though until they really start to show. I think, like, why not? It's just a protective layer for the time being. So anyways, let's measure the neck. So up here we are 19.67 at the first fret and 22.60 at the 24th fret. So I believe that's just a hair thicker than the Speed neck profile. It does feel a little bit different to me. It feels a little bit rounder, less flat in the back, and so maybe a little bit thicker too. But I just wanted to measure that for all of you that are curious. There you go. Okay, we're all strung up, we're all intonated. I didn't have to adjust the neck or anything, but if I did, there is a heel mount truss wheel thing, you know, makes life a lot easier. I did drop the string height a little bit, it was a little bit high, but there's one thing that I need to point out here real quick. In a previous clip that I deleted, I'm putting strings on this guitar to tune it down to drop A sharp, and I use a 62 on the low end. Let me show you. Because of the windings on this 62, I can't actually pull it all the way up. I was talking about the saddle and the string not going all the way up into it. When I was tightening the string, it actually just popped loose and went all the way up in there. So I have a 62 in here for reference, and it made it in there. You know, it went up in there without an issue. So I don't know what the thickest string that you could put in here is, but a 62 will fit, and also the nut is cut wide enough for 62. Just FYI, when I first put that string in, I thought it was gonna be a problem, and that felt weird because I'm tuning to like a very much Bring Me the Horizon tuning, and I'm like, why wouldn't this take a 62? Well, it does. It's just me. I'm stupid. So let's go plug it in and chug. All right, we're back. I have this thing set up in drop A sharp, drop B flat, if you want to be a contrarian. Set up in a tuning that I think is very reminiscent of Bring Me the Horizon. Let's turn on some effects here. You know, I'm having a lot more fun with this guitar now that it's in a Chungus Bungus tuning, but I'm a little bit burned out on playing through the quad cortex and trying to sound like Lee Malia and trying to play like him poorly. I just want to sound and play like me. So I'm going to swap out the quad cortex real quick for something that I enjoy playing a little bit more. So let's do that. There we go. I'm much happier with this rig too. And in my haste to find something that was Bring Me the Horizon-esque, I didn't consider the fact that I'm playing through something that sounds completely foreign to me, so it's really hard to gauge to like get a good opinion on it. And now I have a much better opinion since I'm more familiar with this amplifier. And this guitar does sound a little bit like, it's like thick. It's like nice and meaty. This balls, I guess. It's got some balls to it, you know? These pickets are are really nice and balanced too. You can hear the high notes when I'm doing like that really fast, chaotic stuff. You can still hear the high notes cutting through, which is an attribute that I personally look for in pickups. You know, and when you coil tap this, I know that's not the sound people might necessarily think of when they think of coil tapping, like, but I like the way it sounds. Okay, so here's my final thoughts on this thing. I think if you're a Bring Me the Horizon fan and you saw Lee playing this guitar live, you're probably super hyped that they're releasing this guitar in a production run. I think this is a very strong flavor of guitar. Like if you just look at this thing, if you just look at the aesthetic choices of this guitar, the pickup configuration, you know, all of that stuff, this tune-o-matic bridge with like the fine tune, all of these things really speak to a specific type of person that I feel like. And if that's you, if you vibe with this guy, I mean, look at the, you know, the knobs on the guitar, the little plate thing here, like it's a guitar that has a lot of vibe, or drip, as the kids say. But it's a guitar that does have a lot of vibes, and if that does vibe with you, I think it's really cool. I'm having a good time playing it. It plays like a Jackson. It looks kind of like a Fender / Charvel, but plays like a Jackson. Like it's, you know, it's a really interesting combination of things. But I know that that's not gonna speak to all of you. Like I've had some conversations with my patrons in the Discord about the Surfcaster shape, and like, you know, it's a real hit or miss shape. And then the last thing I would say, you know, my least favorite thing about this guitar is just the gloss. I'm not a huge personal fan of the gloss. I would have really liked this if it was a matte finish. But however, it's not a high gloss guitar. You know, it really, like, hopefully I'm getting this on camera. You know, it's not like a super high gloss, it's like a medium gloss guitar. Again, you know, I just would have really liked it if it was satin. I'm just really biased in that way. All right, big shout out to Jackson for sending me this guitar early to check out for you guys. If you made it this far, thank you guys so much for being here with me. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you really like what I do here on this channel, consider subscribing or joining these beautiful people over here on Patreon for exclusive behind the scenes access, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.